Hey you guys, it's Rachel here with Life of Senza. So, wanted to do an update on the homestead for you guys. So we have a visitor today, and I don't know if this is the same one, but here we have a black snake. And so before I had one that was about that size that was in my garage, and I know I'm about to do their water. But yeah, before I had one that was about his size that was in my garage, and I had a bunch of mice in there, so I let him stay. And then I saw him one time in the yard. I'm not sure why or whatever reason, but he was in the yard. And once again, I just left him alone. And I've been poisoning a lot recently in my garage, and so I think that's why he's moved out here, because most of the mice that were in the house and around the garage are now gone. So I think he's coming out here. And I have been poisoning out here as well, but not as much because I don't do it around the chickens. So look at this. Look at this bird. Look how it looks like it has barring on the wings. See that? Isn't that interesting? It's weird. It's like a blue barred splash. I don't know. It's weird. See that? See the barring there? But not everywhere. Interesting. Hi. Hello. Hi. Yes, we're talking about you. Yes, we are. So I never did sell any of my original stock. I got offers. People wanted to buy them. And then I started dealing with coccidia, and I didn't feel comfortable. Oh, look at that one. Look at that. So that is a Brahma. And look at those. Well, it's not a real Brahma. It's a mix. It looks like, I don't know what kind of mix, but it's a mix for sure. But look at that. Isn't that wild? Those little brown specks in there. That's pretty cool on the wings. So anyway, I think these are the blue sapphires. Let me zoom out. That's a blue sapphire. I think it's that in a Brahma. Pretty interesting nonetheless, though. So, and what's wild is these Easter eggers. So this is an Easter egger cross, and I think it's either mom or there's another one in here somewhere right next to it. Yeah, so those two are Easter eggers. So it looks like the Easter egger crosses that I produced are going to be bigger than their parents, than their mothers, which is kind of cool. They're all shaking their heads right now because they have lice. Savannah and I are going to have to go through and spray them. I did spray a couple of them yesterday. Thank you so much to the person that responded with the Elector PSP. That has been a lifesaver for us. I've already treated my lavenders, and I can already tell a difference. So of the birds that we've treated, they're already doing better, but it's a lot of birds, and we very quickly realized that we did not have enough time to treat everybody. So it is what it is. But nonetheless, Savannah and I are going to knock out probably the rest of them today. But everyone's doing really good. I'm very happy. I'm really glad that there is a simple solution to the lice. It's pretty awesome. So anyway. Oh, look, there's a rooster. You can tell by his tail feathers. So there's another one of these barred Easter egger rooster dudes. There's another one. That was him that you just heard. He's already crowing. And so watch out, ladies. Go on. You see the snake? They do know he's in there. He's just hiding in the walls, which is fine by me. He probably needs some help. They probably found him and we're getting him. That's probably why he's hiding in there right now. Because it doesn't look like that's like his optimal place. So here we have, this is that other rooster, that barred Easter egger rooster. And I do need to get him out of here because I don't want him breeding to that lavender, but I'll have to clip his wings to do that. I'll probably sell him, actually, honestly. I'll probably sell him. Because honestly, I mean, I don't have any, I don't need a bunch of roosters. So I've already treated these guys, and I was seeing a big difference, but I probably need to clean out the coops again. I wasn't noticing as much shaking as before in the head, but it does look like they're still doing some shaking. But it's probably because they're still in the area. And it's kind of the same way with dogs too. Like if you put flea medication on your dog, but you have a heavy infestation on your property, then they'll continue to get bit. Now they'll die and they won't continue to like infest, but they'll still be bitten for a while until all the babies are dead and all that stuff. Hello, aren't you cute? So here are my chicks. Good news here, everybody has made it. That has made it. So I did lose, like I said, I lost all my Belgian leash fighters in here, which was only 3. And I lost, I think 3 or 4 lavenders, and I don't know if I lost any of my Isabella. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see, is that one, if that one with its head in there is, okay, so it looks like we lost 1, because I want to say I had 7 of them, so we must have lost one Isabella. But other than that, they've all made it. And these over here, the Isabellas, they're some of my favorites, I'm not gonna lie. I was really looking forward to seeing how they turn out. So anyway, but I got my splash ones, I got the big blue guy, I got, some nice stuff to work with here, and some really pretty splashes, thank the Lord. This is a very pretty splash here, very high contrast, and this one here I like as well. So, anyway, glad to see them make it. Very, very, very important that they made it, and I'm happy. That is not, it's somewhat dirty, but not really. It's actually yellow because there's electrolytes in it, and so the electrolytes are yellow. So they make almost like a Gatorade, like a yellow Gatorade type color. So this is where I've got my breeding groups. I've got in the back my blue partridges and my lights. They went over there on their own accord. They snuck past in the corner back there, and I need to fix that. But having said that, I actually like the blue lights that I'm producing right now, so I'm okay with that for now. And then I'll move them back whenever I actually want to produce lights. But there may not be a market for lights, so it may not be worth it. But nonetheless, and I've got my buffs right here. And I did treat them already, but it looks like they're still, shaking their heads a little bit. So I would assume that it's because, like I said, I did treat the light Brahma rooster and these buffs, but I need to treat the back area. And like I said, it's probably in the bottom stuff. So I'll probably go through and clean these out this weekend with Savannah, and get it set up and ready for them, so that everybody's got nice, clean. He's the milkman. All right. So I got all these eggs that are from my egg hatchers. They're finally done with the roof, and they left their trailer here for days. They literally, they came here to fix the roof on Tuesday or Wednesday. It didn't take them very long, maybe 2 or 3 days. And then they didn't come and pick it up until today. And I'm not gonna lie, I had to threaten to tow it because they weren't gonna come and get it till tomorrow. And I don't know if you can tell, but my grass is getting way too high, and that mower is very expensive, and I'm not trying to clog that thing up. And I know that everybody who's ever come to cut my grass has always kind of been very clear with me that, I'm not supposed to let the grass get too high. So, I'm taking that to heart. But luckily they came and got it. So these guys are doing good. Now I will say I did treat them yesterday, and they're still kind of in a quarantine situation. So the only thing I am having issues with is this rooster right here. he has some type of eye infection. Now, his eye was worse yesterday, and the other eye was completely shut. So I started treating him with an antibiotic called terramycin, which is an eye ointment. It's for eye infections. And so far, his eye looks at least, I would say, 50-60% better. I wish he'd turn around, although he was kind of closing it. And I did just medicate it again. So he does seem to be responding. He's not near as unhappy as he was whenever I first saw him yesterday acting that way. And I want to take this time to kind of preface that new legislation has just passed about livestock and antibiotics, and they basically have made it illegal. They're taking a bunch of antibiotics that have been sold over the counter off of. You can no longer buy them over the counter starting, I think, on June 11th. And coincidentally, terramycin, which is, dude, really? Hold on. I tried to open that door in it. Come on, dude, don't do that. Let me see if it'll, nope, it's just going to do it again. Whatever. I'm trying to keep that door open. So this right here, this is terramycin. If it will, come on now. Yeah, that's terramycin. And it was only recently allowed to even be purchased over the counter. And it's just a simple eye ointment. Just an antibiotic eye ointment. That's all it is. Very basic. We use it on our puppies whenever they get eye infections, because a lot of times they'll get eye infections whenever they're little bitty babies. And then this is the first time that I've ever had a chicken with an eye infection. So I did try it on him, and like I said, it so far has worked very well. It's at least, 50% better. And the thing about it is that there are no chicken vets. Like, it's not a thing. Chicken vets are not a thing. Apparently the lady at Tractor Supply said there's two vets in all of Virginia that will treat chickens. And so ultimately, I would have really been at a loss unless this product is specifically approved to fight eye infections in chickens. There's a high likelihood that the vet would be reluctant to prescribe that to me, and really would have to rely upon my knowledge, because they don't have the knowledge, and they may or may not. Vets are not normally known for being humble about their lack of experience in certain things. They very much feel like they have to have the answer even whenever they don't. And the last thing they want to do most of the time is rely on you for information. So it's a really crappy situation, because ultimately, for me to be able to treat this bird going forward, I would have to go and take him to a vet and have them, and hopefully they would know what they're doing, and prescribe him eye medication. Now, this bird I bought for breeding, and he's a special bird, so I'm likely to spend that kind of money. But you have to imagine that most chickens are not worth the vet visit, let alone the medication. And so you really get to this situation where you're unnecessarily causing the death and suffering of a lot of animals, because it's not financially worth it to take them to the vet. These are not companion animals. You can't buy antibiotics for companion animals. And if you know of a hack or somehow to, please do not write it in the comment section, because God knows we don't want the legislators finding out and outlawing those too. So, but the reality of the situation is that outlawing antibiotics used by farmers is a ruthless move that is not meant to in any way help anybody. It is meant to take away people's freedoms, make it harder to be a farmer, and ultimately make it more expensive and thus more difficult to do, and really kind of cut down on your ability to be self-sustainable. So there is nothing harmful about terramycin. There is absolutely no reason to make this illegal. I should not have to go to a vet to get this. This is not going to hurt my chicken. You see what I'm saying? This is not going to hurt my chicken. So this is not a laying hen. This is not a bird in which I will be eating the eggs from, you know what I mean? Or that I will be eating the meat from. This is cochins are very much a pet bird. They lay eggs, but they are really kept because of how they look, and they're really kept as pets. They're not kept, for consumption. So there's no risk of that. And I can look at the bird's eyes. I can see that they're infected. I can apply the terramycin just like I did with my puppies. I can look at the puppy's eyes. I can see that they're infected. I can give them the medication. And that's safer than taking them to the vet. Because as I often tell people, when people will say, well, are your puppies health checked before they leave? Absolutely not. You know why? Because where is the one place that people take their sick puppies with parvo? They take them to the vet. Where do people take their dogs with kennel cough? They take them to the vet. Why would I take a puppy with no immune system and no ability to have an immune system because they're not old enough to even vaccinate? Why would I take them to the one place where all the sick animals go? That's a very dumb thing to do. So I'm not going to do it. And so we're making people, and mind you, how many of you have had to wait months even to be able to get into not months, that's an exaggeration. How many of you have had to take weeks to get into the vet? There are some illnesses that cannot wait that long. For example, coccidia is something that cannot wait that long. You need to be treating as soon as you find out that you have a diagnosis. So and coccidia is something we can treat with an antibiotic at the store that you can buy. Corid, I believe, is classified as an antibiotic. I could be wrong, but from what I was looking online, it looked like it was either way. And I think that there is some discrepancy on whether or not coccidians will be outlawed or not, but the Tractor Supply is telling me that they will absolutely not be able to carry Corid. I don't know if that's because they're trying to get everybody to panic buy Corid because they know they're about to lose out on a lot of funding from having antibiotics, but I don't know. All I can tell you is that there's absolutely no value in doing that, no reason to do that. There's very little, and they're saying that it's because they don't want for people to be like using the wrong antibiotics, this and that. But all I can tell you is that every time I've ever gone to a vet, they've prescribed an antibiotic before they did a culture. And there have been many times where we had a dog that was on an antibiotic and then we ended up having to take them off of it and move them to another one because after the culture was found, we realized that we needed to be treating with a different antibiotic. So I do not find the veterinarians to be exempt from that process. In fact, I find that that's exactly what they do. They go with either the antibiotic that is most well known for treating whatever that issue is, or they go with the most broad spectrum one that they think is more than likely going to cover it. But even in the case of Zoe, those of you may remember, she had a really bad leg infection and we had her on some very knockdown, drag out antibiotics only to find out that she needed to be on something entirely different after we cultured it. So anyway, I don't believe them when they say that. I don't believe them. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I hope you guys are having a good day and I will talk at you later. Bye.